All right, everybody. Good morning and happy Monday. Hopefully, you guys had an awesome way to start the week. I know I at least had a pretty good way to start the week today. Really, if you weren't watching the right stocks today, you probably got screwed. But I'm going to run through exactly why I traded, what I traded, how I traded, what I traded to have a green day to start the week today. And hopefully, you didn't get chopped up because I know it was pretty easy to if you weren't watching these stocks. So, going into market open, there really wasn't a whole lot to be watching. There was a couple of obvious setups, which I'll show my notepad here of what I was looking at into the market open. I was watching FEMY, RANI, MSPR, and THAR. Now, THAR, if you were watching in pre-market, was the big mover into the open today. And from 9 to 9:30, I typically just prep my trades, and so I didn't take it all through here. I saw it reclaim VWAP, and it looked amazing here for the move higher, and obviously I didn't play it. And so what I saw happen here going in the market open was pretty awesome. And so I see price putting in place this range off the 90 MA. And so I'm thinking this is putting in place a higher low to get squeezing up through the flat top high here at market open. And so I come and I take it with just lotto size. Like I said on stream this morning, I come in here and literally risked like ham sandwich size, really tiny size in this to see if we could get a little core position here into market open. And then, of course, I could get an add over the highs here for the squeeze up higher. Now, I didn't get that move here, and this actually just ended up selling off all morning. Surprisingly, like I said, this was putting in place such an awesome range into the bell, and so the daily looked awesome. You had this nice flat top high here, really looking to see if this could put in place that range, and just it didn't follow through. So little lotto size there. Again, obviously, it was a bit of a higher risk trade, but took it with lotto's a little small loss to start the morning. But then after that, we saw MSPR start to move. And this, again, was from our list as well. And as you can see here, take a look at this. The list here stated, let's watch this over 70 cents for the range to 90 and $1. Now, it actually hit all those targets today. It made a massive move. And it was hands down the cleanest stock that we really had today. There really wasn't anything that traded this clean except for MSPR. And this thing had a 690,000 share float. So this thing was extremely volatile and extremely opportune because of it. And so we come out of market open on this. And this is again after, of course, the small lotto size loss on THAR. And I'm watching this here and it's looking pretty good. And so if I show you here on the 5-minute time frame, you'll really start to see what I'm seeing here. And so what we have is pretty awesome. We have this previous high from pre-market followed by, again, this lower high. So we almost have this break of a trend here at market open. Take a look at this, where we break to the upside out of this past high from pre-market. And again, what I want to see here is putting in place a nice bottom. And so we have what I found in pre-market was this double top high here, which acts as an area of supply. Again, once price breaks above it, then becomes an area of demand and vice versa. And so you've got this awesome opportunity here where if price was able to then break above and show strength above that level and then pull back and confirm out of it, well, then you have your entry opportunity, right? And so able to play that here pretty well. And we saw it break over the high, that past high sitting around 70 cents. And so I wanted to see a break above that, hence the pre-market plan here, which says, again, over 70 cents. And so we have this candle break to the highs here. We have this big move to the highs, and I think it tested, what, 75 cents or so? Yeah, it tested 74 cents. And then it sells off that high there. Now, of course, price pulls back and confirms off the low here. And so I'm waiting for that candle to get bought back up. And as soon as I see that candle get bought back up, I take the entry risking off the bottom of this candle for the range back higher. And that right there was the biggest trade of the morning where I was able to catch this here from about 66 cents all the way back to about 78 cents a share. Now, the reason why I took my profit up here is because if we look back at pre-market, we had the past high. I'll show you on this chart instead, so I'm not having to go back and forth. Where you can actually see back here is we had this pre-market high sitting right here overhead about at 83 cents. And so as this thing began to find sellers off that high, which you can see here with this big topping tail, went ahead and just took my full profit. I was so happy with this trade. Again, entered here and then again just trailed my 1-minute candle lows. And then eventually took full profit there if we saw the big wick off the high. And then, of course, this thing pulls back, confirms buyers off the 90 MA. After doing that, it puts in place sort of this higher low range. And I'm trying to play it here off the pullbacks. And I do okay off the pullbacks. You can see I played it here from about 76 back to about 80 cents a share. Just playing these little dip and rips through here to see if we couldn't get the leg up higher. Now, of course, that did not happen, but I did play it again for another win as well. So what happens here is price pulls back in a big way, knife. And what happens here, take a look at this. And so this tries to grab liquidity. Look at this here. This is awesome. Is we have these lower highs stacked here overhead. And as price tries to break to the highs here, it gets shot down in a big way. And what you've got to understand here is shorts compiling in right here. You've got shorts piling in here on the break of trend to the downside. And, well, now shorts are all sitting here like just some stocks sitting right here at the highs. Right, shorts piling in here, and then we see it crack underneath the EMAs, and guess what? Shorts pile in even more here. And again, it just makes this a really awesome setup because, again, shorts are piling in here. shorts are piling in here as this breaks down. Well, then we see this get bought back up into this range again later. And I see this start to consolidate above VWAP and start to consolidate above moving averages. And I'm like, all right, if this thing does start to get breaking out, this thing could really get squeezing some shorts over these highs. And so that was sort of the game plan here. I was able to play it quite well. Now, I initially came in this with a little bit too much size. The thing is, today was very slow. There wasn't really much to trade. And so I was trying to build off the profits I had here this morning on MSPR. But it's not really a crazy hot market right now. So you don't want to come in and get too silly with this. And so I tried to de-risk a little bit, take some size out of this. So I came in here at 70 cents, well, 69 cents to be exact, risking off this low from this previously formed trend, higher low. And I was looking for the squeeze up into the top of trend because what we had here from earlier on in the morning was this lower high forming this trend line resistance overhead. And so I was looking for the range back up towards, what is it, 75, 76. And so again, was able to trade this quite well and played it here from, you can see the simple pullback here, 69 cents back to about 74 cents or so after my scales. Now, of course, I did take some size out of it right here to try and decrease my risk because I was a little bit worried if shorts were still going to drive back into this thing and this thing sort of to break back underneath the VWAP again. This could look a little bit nasty. But all that said, this thing ended up squeezing, gave me a nice move. I took profit a little bit early here potentially, but I traded my plan. Hindsight 2020. I traded my plan to a T, did exactly what I said I was going to do, and that was it. Of course, as it gets breaking up into the highs here, I didn't play it anymore because up through here, it just starts to trade very, I didn't really care for it too much. Pretty nasty here, and then of course all through here, it's just chopping. I just didn't like it up underneath the dollar. So left it alone, but all through here played it really well. Outside of that, had a little bit of stuff here on RAY, which it looked okay. We had this break of pre-market trend, and it tries to get a buyer here off of VWAP. I take it off the pullback for the break up higher. It tries to get going, but what happens here, look at this, is it actually breaks up to the upside here. We get it from about 24 cents to about 25 cents. And of course, it tries to make a new high here. Look at this. It tries to make a new high, but like we always say for my exit strategy, it breaks to new high and instantly rejects to grab liquidity. And I take my instant exit and I get out of this with very small profits. So able to keep that in the green. And then of course also had our TGE. What I noticed about this, and it ended up making a big move here late in the morning, surprisingly, is back through here, this looked incredible because we had this flat top high form, this double top high formed by these higher lows. And so what I was looking for here was once this reclaimed VWAP with volume, I was really wanting to see this get going up into this previous range high. But the thing is, after I took the entry on this, it started trading really weird. And so I took an instant exit for a break even here, and it just, obviously I'm glad that I did because this would have been a loss otherwise. It just wasn't trading clean here. It looks like it ended up cleaning up later on in the morning. You can see over here closer to, again, what is now, it's sort of cleaner, even though now it is a little bit choppy, but back in through here, it definitely was not tradable. So again, break even trade here. Didn't really see the price action I wanted to see, and so just went ahead and cut it, and that was that. So that being said, that is pretty much the morning recap all summed up in a quick little summary there. I'm pretty happy with today. I can't really complain. It was a nice way to start the week. Obviously, we like to see big days, but today just wasn't the day for that. We had the one obvious opportunity on MSPR to market open, and we zoned in, crushed it, and did what we had to do. So like I keep on saying every single day, slow does not have to mean red. You just have to be watching the right stocks and stay picky and selective and not go force setups just because nothing else is moving. That alone is the biggest, the most common reason why so many traders get chopped around in slow markets is because they get bored, they feel like they need to be trading something, and then they go force some crappy setups. And that is why my live stream is so critical every single day. So you can actually watch what I'm trading, listen to what I like, what I don't like, why I don't like it, why I do like it. That way you have an idea of what we're watching out there in the market every single day. So that being said, if you did learn something from this video, please subscribe for daily content just like this. And of course, as always, make sure to claim your 7-day free trial down in the description below. That way you can actually watch me trade these stocks in real time every single day and get watch list, alerts, chat room access, news, scanners, and so much more. And hopefully we can just keep this up into the rest of November as things slowly heat back up. All right, have an awesome day. I'll see you guys tomorrow.